If over 40 million African Americans left the U.S. and returned to Africa, this would be one of the largest migrations in human history. The U.S. economy would take a major hit, losing trillions in spending power and a crucial workforce. From music to sports and activism, Black culture has shaped America. Its absence would leave a cultural void. Meanwhile, Africa could see a surge in population, skills, and investments, boosting economies across the continent. But could African nations handle the sudden change? Resources, housing, and cultural integration would be major challenges. With millions of new minds and talents, Africa could rise as a global superpower, changing the world order.
You know the short-sighted ignorance of this video? It is not the video itself, but it is most of the comments on this video. And the overwhelming number of comments on this video is Black people saying, we ain't Black. It's Black people saying, we were already here. It's Black people saying, there was no transatlantic slave trade. Black people saying, we built this country. We ain't going nowhere. Others even saying, they don't want us in Africa. Short-sighted ignorance is what I call all of that. The first thing that we have to get out of the way is the fact that these people who are claiming that we are already here. Yes, I have some indigenous heredity in America, but the overwhelming majority of my heredity comes from Africa, West Africa, Nigeria, tiny bit Mali, but mostly in the Nigeria, Benin, Togo area. It's where the overwhelming majority of my ancestors come from based on the research that I've been able to do. So we come from over there. The other short-sighted idea we had to get out of our mind is, oh, how can they have moved that many people on ships? You're talking about a 30 to 45 day journey that was made over and over again by no less than about 300 ships at any given time frame, making 4 to 5 trips per year, carrying anywhere from about 30 to 120 different people at a time. The numbers add up. And the overwhelming majority of these people didn't come to North America, but went to South America and the Caribbean, which is why South America has a larger number of Black descendants than North America. So get over yourself. The other aspect of this whole thing is that, well, our ancestors, they built this country, they was here, we built the foundation. This is true. And this coincide with the idea of that Africans don't want us there. You think that you're wanted here? And let me ask you a question. Is it easier to get past the issues with people who look like you than it is to get past the issues with people who don't look like you? Is it easier to get past issues with people who have never oppressed you, or get over the issues with people who are descendants of those who did oppress you? It becomes not a situation of what the past says, but a situation of today, life now, opportunities now. You see, too many times people live in the past. Last night we did a live with my friend Kevin Wesley, where we discussed and talked about the fact that him and his family are moving to Medellin, Colombia, and that the opportunities that lie before them in moving to Medellin. Some people ask, why not move to Africa? Sure. After he creates what he desires to create there, and you can follow him on Kevin Wesley, Be the Evolution, to find out more information about this move and the community that he is going to build there. You can learn how to build that community in Medellin. And then if your desire is to go to Africa and build a similar community, you can go there already knowing how to get it done without some of the pitfalls that will happen while this new project is being done in Medellin. So I want you to think about something for a second, though. Is it easier to try to grow the Black community in America? Or is it easier to grow the Black community in a country that's already ran by Black people? That's already in a situation where you don't have to worry about a police officer every time you see one, where you're not being shot, killed, murdered by the people who are supposed to protect you simply because of the color of your skin, where you're not already a threat, where you have politicians that aren't concerned about the color of your skin, but politicians who are actually working for their individual communities. You have corruption in America, you have corruption over there. But dealing with corruption plus racism, dealing with corruption, just corruption. It's an easier thing to do. And with all the STEMS knowledge that Black Americans would carry over to Africa, Africa will become a world power within a decade. It will become a world power. And yes, I am talking about sub-Saharan Africa. I am not concerned with Arab Africa, Northern Africa. We know who runs that. And that would be just like going from America to America, just with brown people having the same mentality as the Europeans here in America. So it doesn't matter that I have ancestry here in America. When I get pulled over by a cop, when I'm going to get a job, when I go into a bank, when I deal with anything that deals with American politics or governments or systems, I am first looked upon as a brown man, black man by those people. That is not the same as when you go to Africa. So what does it matter if you are Moor or Hebrew Israelite, or if you are any of those indigenous to America, when your treatment is the same as everybody else? None of those identity politics matter in America. They only matter, and they don't exist there. And as far as the idea that they don't want us, shows me a person who's never done the research, nor a person who's never been there. In all the African countries I've ever been to, I have never been treated unfairly. I have never been looked upon as something vile. I did not experience any racism whatsoever. I didn't even experience any nationalism whatsoever. If anything, the biggest issue that I dealt with was the fact that once they find out you're an American in a market where you can barter, them prices go up real quick. But once you become a part of their society, they know that they can't do that anymore. And there are many of us who are making digital income. There's many of us who have retirement income, or many of us who have businesses that could easily, because of the way the world functions nowadays as a worldwide market, you can go there. It's a lot easier. And the more and more of us go there, then those who need to have a job, those things will be facilitated by those who go there and build businesses or become part of the structure. And as the infrastructure is needed, engineers will be needed. As hospitals are built, medical personnel will be needed. As corporations are built, human resources and all the other liberal arts degrees and whatnots and talents will be needed. The ones who are doing air conditioning and the trades, and put it that way, doing trade jobs. Those trade jobs, you can already go over there and start your own business and outgrow and outpace what you could possibly do here in America. So it's not about history and holding on to America. That just shows your indoctrination into the Western mindset that you got to say that, oh, we were already here and we're going to stay here. But yet, what have you built? Have all the indigenous Americans who look like me got together and built your own land and built your own communities and taken over government positions and building corporations? No, you're just on the airways screaming, we were already here. We got proof we was already here. But you're doing nothing with it. I'm a Hebrew Israelite, but you're not in Israel. You got stoned out of Kenya because you're trying to force their religious principles and the religious ideas. Leave your religious in your house where it belongs. Stop trying to force it on the other people. But what we all share is a desire to live free. What we all share is the desire to not be judged based on the color of our skin and not have to fear the police or any other type of corruption just simply based on your color. What we all want is the ability to be able to say, I have a great idea. I want to build a house. I want to build a business. I want to do whatever. And you can walk into a bank and they're looking at you as a financial risk instead of looking at you as a black man or a black woman. Going into a job interview to be looked upon as a person and what your credentials have, not whether or not you're a black person and they have deep-seated ideas that black people aren't just not that smart. I'm just saying, get over yourself and realize that that is a much better option. So you have to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations. and they will be very welcoming to have us.